How's it going, everyone? Mountainspyder here, bringing you another episode in the Pokemon TCG series. So today we're going to be taking a look at the last of the 3 Sword and Shield theme decks that have come out. Today we'll be looking at the Inteleon Theme Deck. So I've previously done a deck analysis, a first impressions of the Cinderace deck and the Rillaboom deck. If you haven't seen those videos, check out the card above to the Pokemon playlist. It'll be the 2 most recent ones, well 3 most recent ones, counting the Inteleon Theme Deck. So the point of this video is I want to purchase this deck, check out the cards, and then play about 2 showcase games with the deck to start getting a feel for it. See how the deck performs, and just give first impressions of how I think the deck is going to feel. I've played with both the Cinderace and the Rillaboom deck, and I've come up against the Inteleon deck a few times. It does seem quite interesting. The Sword and Shield decks definitely do have their own feel, and they're going to fit into a very interesting place in the meta. I'm not quite sure yet, but let's see how it goes. So, kicking this right off, let's pick up the Inteleon deck and take a look at it. So, starting off, got a nice new coin for ourselves, and let's start out with a Mantine. 110 HP, so this Mantine is a little beefy, so it is quite nice as your first active Pokemon. Water Reserve, search your deck for up to 3 water energy cards, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So I feel like this is a worse version of the Eldegoss's energy move from the Rillaboom deck, which allows you to search for 3 energies and attach them to your benched Pokemon. But the trade-off is this Mantine is a basic Pokemon. So, fair enough, it makes sense. Wave Splash for just 2 energy is 60 damage. That's not bad. And again, it has a 1 retreat cost, which is nice for getting your first active Pokemon out of there, but only committing 1 energy to it. So, it's decent. I quite like it. Krabby, 80 HP. It's pretty beefy for a Krabby. Super Slice. Flip 2 coins. If either of them is tails, this attack does nothing. I don't really see myself ever using Super Slice, but the fact that Krabby's got 80 HP makes him quite beefy, so they can actually take a hit. And then you can get the evolution off into Kingler, which is 130 HP, which is quite decent. Taking Kingler down can be a bit challenging, and his attacks are very nice. Heavy Pincers of just 1 energy, discard the top card of your opponent's deck, and then Claw Rend. If your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it, this attack does 60 more damage. So you're hitting for 150 damage with Claw Rend if the opponent has any damage on them. So bringing Kingler in to finish off your opponent's larger Pokemon is quite good. Heading off to Sobball, 70 HP, 10 and 20 damage respectively. It's average, it's just your basic Pokemon. Drizzle with 90 HP, 30 and 40 damage respectively. Again, 1 energy retreat cost, so you can get the Drizzle out of there without committing too much energy to it. So, it's decent. Nothing out of the way, but it's not bad. Sorry about that, that was my phone going off. And Inteleon, 160 HP, which is quite nice. Still going to go down to Rillaboom in 1 hit, but I don't think it goes on Cinderace. No, Cinderace does 160. It's either 150 or 160. I'll double check it in a second. So Inteleon, 160 HP, Silent Shot. Discard a random card from your opponent's hand. It could just frustrate people, but by the time you're getting Inteleon out, you should have your 2 energies down. For Hydro Snipe, you may put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon into their hand, and 1 retreat cost. Now, Hydro Snipe doesn't deal the most damage. Inteleon's the weakest hitter of the 3 active Pokemon stage 2s, compared to Rillaboom and Cinderace, but you do have the energy disruption with it. You're not losing any energies, and you can use it turn after turn. So in that sense, Inteleon's a bit more reliable, but it's not dealing as much damage. Inteleon, funny enough, is not your heaviest hitter in this deck. And you'll see in a second who is. Very nice shiny though, I actually quite like those colors. Tutor, 80 HP, again, pretty decent. One thing to note is both Tutor and Krabby can still be taken out by Drumper from the Cinderace deck, as it deals 80 damage, so do be careful. Bite and Water Gun, 30-50 respectively, and 2 and 3 energy respectively. So Tutor's not great by itself. Okay, so Tutor's evolve form is where Tutor really gets terrifying. So taking a look at Dredraw, it's 130 HP, so decently tanking. Vice Bite, 3 energy for 60 damage base, plus 30 more damage for each energy in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. This is terrifying, as the damage from this attack racks up like there is no tomorrow. Do not be surprised when Dredraw O-hit KOs most of your opponent's deck. And then Jaw Lock, during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat for 130 damage. Most of the time, you're going to be dealing more damage with Vice Bite, with the exception of the weaker type Pokemon, like the basics, the stage 1s. But even with your basics and your stage 1s, most of the time, they have at least 1 energy retreat cost. So this attack ends up dealing about 90 damage. Do not underestimate how powerful Dredraw is. If you're playing with this deck, charge up your Dredraw, bring it in medium to late game, and close your game with it. Dredraw can close games, because it's super effective against your opponent's Pokemon that are stage 2, and they're heavy hitters, who generally have a higher retreat cost. So keep an eye out for Dredraw. If you're playing against the Inteleon deck, shut down Tutor and shut down Dredraw before it becomes an issue. It will one-shot you. Cramorant, 110 HP, so decently tanky. And Water Arrow. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Now, Cramorant is quite useful in the sense that it combos very well with Kingler. Because if you remember with the Vice Grip, if the Pokemon has any damage counters on it does more damage. So you can hit your opponent's backline Pokemon with Water Arrow that you know they're building up over time. So if you can see they're building into a Rillaboom, hit any of the earlier stage Pokemon with Water Arrow just to get that 20 damage down on it. Again, same with Cinderace. With any of his line, hit this earlier, the basic stage 1 Pokemon with Water Arrow just to get that 20 damage off. Just so that it's there, so that your Vice Grip then does more damage. So you can hit the bench quite nicely with Water Arrow. No, it doesn't apply weakness resistance for the Fire deck, but it's still 20 damage. And again, it's a Pokemon 110 HP, so decent for your first active, 1 energy for Water Arrow, and 1 retreat cost. If you want to charge it up to 2 energy, you can get Water Gun off for 50. But it's a pretty decent early active Pokemon for some nice spread damage. That is the end of our Pokemon. So again, it's a pretty decent spread of Pokemon. The highlights from them is basically the Dredraw. Really excited about that Pokemon. It's got a lot of potential. The Inteleon is decent. It's like a nice disruption Pokemon. I actually wouldn't mind in this deck playing out Inteleon mid-game and then closing out the Dredraw. I feel like Inteleon is not your heaviest hitter in this deck. It's not the Pokemon you want to rely on, but it's a great disruption Pokemon. Okay, so we've got ourselves Switch. Always happy seeing Switch in a deck. Pokemon Catcher. I love using this card. I hate going against this card. When using Pokemon Catcher, use it to disrupt what your opponent's building into. Or you can use it to get like your last prize card. It's a fantastic card. Use it with discretion. It's very powerful. Use it correctly. Remember, it's only a 50% chance, so be careful with it. Ordinary Rod, always a fantastic card, especially with these new Sword and Shield decks, because they run through your deck so quickly. Be very aware of it. Great Ball, always happy to see a Great Ball. Energy Switch, move a basic energy from one Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. This is quite handy, especially when you know one of your Pokemon are going to go down. You can just pull the energy off of it and relocate it. It's handy, it's useful, it gives you options, which is always good from a theme deck. Pokegear, look at the top 7 cards and grab a supporter. Always fantastic. Especially if you're going second and you don't have a supporter in your opening hand, but you have Pokegear, you can at least dig for it. And I say that because, remember, with the Sword and Shield set that came out, if you start the game, as in you're the first player, on your first turn you can't use supporter cards. But if you go second, you can. So if you're the second player on your first turn, you can use supporter cards. So you really want to have a good supporter in your first turn if you're going second. Pokegear makes that a little bit more likely. Pokekid, I'm loving this trainer card. Search your deck for any Pokemon you want and you add it to your hand. It is great because it lets you get the answer you're looking for. I'm always happy with Pokekid. Hop, draw 3 cards. Can't complain. Decent, reliable, always good. Be careful, there's 3 in this deck, don't mill yourself with this deck. I did it with the Rillaboom deck, and it was very awkward. It was my first time I've milled myself in I don't know how long. Be very careful with how many cards you have left in your deck. Professor's Research, discard your hand, draw 7 cards. I love this card, but again, be very careful because you draw yourself out very quickly. The deck runs 3 of them. Be aware of that. And then your energies. So the Inteleon deck, I'm quite liking it. There's a lot of options, it's a lot of fun, and I'm very keen to jump into some games with it. And there's a subtle change that makes the Inteleon deck very, very powerful. If you take a look at the Cinderace deck, I want to look at quickly how much life... Cinderace has 170, okay. And Rillaboom has... I think 190. Yeah, Rillaboom has 190, so the Vice Grip from Dreadnought just won't take it out, because it's 3, 6, 9, 12, plus 60 is 180 damage. So Dreadnought just does not take out Rillaboom. Be aware of that for your damage calculations. So, jumping into the Inteleon Theme Deck, what I was saying about the Inteleon Theme Deck's hidden power, if you want to call it that. Water-type Pokemon are not weak to grass. This is huge. The reason I say that is because this water deck is super effective against the Cinderace deck. The Cinderace deck is super effective against the Rillaboom deck. But the Rillaboom deck is not super effective against the Inteleon deck. Makes it very, very awkward, but it's something you need to be aware of. And I state that because it gives this deck a lot of power, because it's only weak to lightning type Pokemon. Whereas the other 2 decks are weak to current theme decks that are busy being used. This is pretty good because next time I can actually bring out a Tutel, and I got a Pokekid. I got a Pokekid to bring out Tutel. So unfortunately I went first with the hope because I wanted to get my evolutions out, because I know this deck really does rely on its evolutions. Its basic Pokemon are very, very average. So I'm a bit disappointed I wasn't able to get basic Pokemon down on the bench. But as it is. The nice thing is my opponent did throw down a Thor, which means I've got at least this first turn without taking damage. So opening with Mantine, I'm quite happy, because even though I've got a rather rubbish opening hand with 5 energies in it, I am happy getting Mantine out, getting Water Reserve out very, very early, and pulling all those energies out of my deck and putting them into my hand. Unfortunately, this Professor's Research is pretty dead. It happens sometimes, not much you can do about it. So I feel like this is not the best use of Pokekid, bringing out a Tutel, but the fact that I already have a Dreadnought in my hand, I'm quite happy doing this. The other option is actually just putting pressure on. I think that's actually not a bad option. I was going to go for Water Reserve, but considering I have quite a bit of energy in my hand already, and I have a Professor's Research, it might not be a bad idea to apply the pressure early on and get my opponent worried. Because now, do they actually commit the second energy to Thor and get damage off on Mantine? Just 30 damage off? Or do they apply the energy somewhere else? So this preserves my Mantine slightly, and it buys me some time. Unfortunately, this Groudon is going to hit like a truck. But the nice thing is, if I can charge up this Tutel quick enough, I can take it out. The problem is, I'm going to get a hit next turn. Most likely for 130 damage. But I will have a turn after that to breathe. So, Tutel should be online if I'm counting correctly. So let's get this going. Let's charge up. Now, Tutel will get the KO. Because this turn he'll KO me. So I can bring him with 2 energy. Oh no, this is bad. I need another basic Pokemon. I really don't want a Professor, but I have to Professor. I need another basic Pokemon because Dreadnought's not going to come online quick enough. Okay, that's actually quite nice. I'm okay losing a Cormorant. It's really not the end of the world. And I can use Switch out to bring in the Dreadnought at a later stage. So let me get... I think I might really want to rather get a Water Reserve off, just to make sure I've got energy. Because I know Dreadnought will get the KO regardless. So I think I'd rather go for Water Reserve. just to bring those energies out now. At least then I don't have to worry about it in the future. I maybe should have preserved Mantine there and gone into Cormorant to just tank the damage. But let's see how it goes. I'm losing 2 energy here, which is a bit disappointing. Let's see. I don't know if that was the right play. I think I sacrificed Mantine too early there, but let's see. That's a Pokemon catcher. That is quite useful. Although, unfortunately, I need to charge up this Dreadnought first. Because I need Dreadnought online. Yeah. I would have liked to get a Water Arrow off and put some damage on that Gibble. But I need to get Dreadnought going as quickly as possible. Because Dreadnought can O-hit KO the Groudon. I need the Groudon out of the game as quickly as possible. And I don't want damage on their bench. Going up against this Groudon deck, you don't want damaged Pokemon on their bench. So I need to get rid of this Thraw as quickly as possible. And I don't want to put some damage on Groudon and he switches out. Because then the Thraw will come in and hit like a truck. So if I damage Groudon, I want to make sure he's dead. Or fainted. And doesn't come back. So the plan moving forward is switching out the Cormorant and going with the Dreadnought next turn. Okay, he only had 1 energy, so I'm not going to get hit by a seriously large attack next turn. Let's run Hop. Let's see what we get quickly. Okay, that's actually quite nice. We're getting Drizzle going, which is quite good. Let's get a Sobble down. Let's swap into Dreadnought. Let's switch into Dreadnought. I don't want a Pokemon catcher. Ordinary Rod I don't want to use yet because I don't have a second Pokemon there. I've already got 5 energies in my discard pile, which is a serious problem. I need to be very careful with my energy game moving forward. I know I can bring 2 of those energies back, but I do still need to be very, very careful. Because I most likely need to put another energy on this Dreadnought. And this Dreadnought's out a lot earlier than I would have liked. I would have preferred him coming in when I'm sitting on like 3 prize cards, so I can try and close the game with him. But let's see how it goes. Persimmon, I won't knock out with Vice Bite, which means I have to put 1 more energy down for Lockjaw. The other option is actually using... I wouldn't mind using Pokemon Catcher now to see if I can get rid of this Gibble before it evolves. So let me see. Can I use Pokemon? Yes, I can. I want to get rid of that Gibble before it does anything. As for my energy, let me use Hop and see what I get. Got another Drizzle. That's quite nice, actually. And... do I want another Tutor down right now? I don't think so. Actually, yes, I do want another Tutor down right now. Let's get this Drizzle going in case I get an Inteleon out. And let's get the Vice Bite. So, I'm happy using that Pokemon Catcher there because I'm shutting down a future problem. I'm not worried about a Persimmon and I'm not terribly worried about a Thraw. But I'm very worried about Gibble. Especially when Gibble has 2 energies attached to it. So being able to shut that down before it's a problem, I feel like that's more worthwhile. And I can always use Lockjaw this turn to get rid of Persimmon. And that's why I like Pokemon Catcher, and that's why I hate going up against it, because it can completely throw your plans in the future. My opponent is loaded with energy, which they're quite lucky about at the moment, so they can charge up. The interesting thing is whether they actually have the whole Time Pole family line in their hand. Because they've got at least... yeah, they've got a lot of cards in their hand. It's probably there. So let's Pokegear this up. I want to get myself a Pokemon Kid. Do I have Inteleons in my deck? They should be there. I'm going to play Pokekid. So I want to bring out... the thing is, do I bring out another Dreadnought? Or do I bring out... I think I bring out Inteleon at this stage. Because I don't want too much energy. Okay, my other Dreadnought is still there. So let's bring out Inteleon. Let's bring out the foil Inteleon just because it looks better. Let's get that down. It is 160 HP, so it's pretty beefy. It doesn't get O-hit KO'd by much in the deck, which is quite nice. I do want to keep this pressure going. I don't think I have another Pokemon there yet that I just want. So the ordinary rod can hold out, and let's lockjaw this. So as I said, Dreadnought is one of the most powerful Pokemon in this deck. It's got a lot of coverage with Vice Bite and with Lockjaw. It is energy hungry, which can be frustrating at stages. But it's a serious heavy hitter. As you can see now, I've taken out 3 Pokemon with it. So be careful when playing against this deck. Be aware of what Dreadnought can do. If you've got an opportunity to shut down Tutor or shut down Dreadnought early on, do it. You don't want a Dreadnought to sweep your team, as I'm doing quite now. Because once the Dreadnought comes online with 3 or 4 with at least 3 energy, it's an absolute pain to get rid of it. So be very, very careful. I'm curious now whether they have Time Pause Evolution or not. I'm hoping they don't. But let's see. I wouldn't mind drawing into another switch, just in case this Dreadnought takes more damage. I'll be happy to switch it out just to preserve it, and then I can bring it in later as a heavy hitter. I don't want to retreat Dreadnought. Unfortunately, the retreat cost for Dreadnought is 3 energies, which is just too much. I can't afford it, because then you've got to attach another 2 energies to it before it becomes relevant again. Okay, so it did have the evolution into Palpitoad. It is still a 1-hit KO with Vice Bite, but unfortunately, if I do that, I'm going to be going down. With the 2 Thralls are coming online, which is really frustrating. Because Thrall's total damage is 150, I think? No, 120. So it won't knock out Inteleon, which is quite nice. But it does mean that my Dreadnought's going down next turn. Let's Great Ball this. Maybe we can get into another Inteleon. We don't get into Inteleon, but we do get into Krabby, which is quite useful. Ironically, Kingler is fantastic against the Groudon deck, because Claw Rend is basically always going to go off whenever they use Palpitoad, because now their bench is full of damage. So Kingler, ironically, is actually fantastic in this matchup. In terms of energies, let's get our Inteleon online, because that's going to be what's going to be coming in next. And let's get rid of this Palpitoad. Lockjaw, take him out. We're down to 2 prize cards. So this deck is performing very, very well. I'm happy with Dreadnought. I'm interested to see how Inteleon plays out, because Inteleon's damage is only 100. Thankfully, it does knock out both Thralls, which are my concern at the moment. It just doesn't knock out Groudon. But it will prevent the Groudon from... It'll slow down the Groudon with Hydro Snipe, which is quite nice. Okay, they've got a Gabite coming online. So I would like to shut this down and be aware of it, because the problem is once this evolves, it's going to be dealing out about 100 and it's 80, 120, 160 damage in an attack. So it will hit KO a fresh Inteleon, which is unfortunate, but hey. Now here's the question. This has only got 50 HP left. Do I want to go into this Inteleon? I don't really want to go into this Inteleon, but I don't have a better option. I actually wish I put the energy on this Drizzle instead. Well, that doesn't do 50 damage. I wish I put on the Cramorant instead. I'm going to have to go into it. Because this is 120 damage. Cramorant just won't survive. That's frustrating. I don't really want to lose this Inteleon, but I'm going to anyway. If he has the evolution, I'm in trouble. Yeah, it's a bit frustrating. But let me start getting this Kingler online. Do I want to use the rod now to bring back Dreadnought, or do I want to wait a turn to bring back my other Inteleon to make that more likely? I think I want the other Inteleon. So unfortunately, he's got 50 HP left, so I can't use... I would like to use Hardened Shot just to discard a card and hopefully get lucky. But I can't do that, so let's Hydro Snipe. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just let it drop. That was a bit silly. Because I think it's a You May. Yeah, I should let it go down to graveyard. That was a bit silly of me. So does he have the evolution? If he does have the evolution, yeah, he does have the evolution. I thought so. Yeah, here comes Garchomp. So Garchomp's going to hit quite hard. I've got to wait 2 more turns to get the Kingler online. Unfortunately, my bench was full, so I couldn't get it out earlier. So I'm going to have to most likely sacrifice something. Cramorant probably. Just to take a hit. My opponent will have 3 prize cards left, because he'll most likely get the KO here. Because Oversize will do 100... No, it actually does more. It does like 200 damage if he really wants it to. So yeah, unfortunately, Inteleon's going to go down here. There was a bit of a bad play on my side. I should have seen that coming. And I should have put that energy on Cramorant earlier. But you live and you learn. So moving forward, I need to get in the practice of spreading my energies and giving myself more options. I have a bad habit of locking myself into an option, which I need to get out of. But you learn from your mistakes. It's the only way to really do it. I'm not sure why they discarded the extra energy, but I'm not going to complain. So Cramorant, unfortunately you're going to go down for no reason, but hey. Let's get our Kingler online. Let's get the energy game going. Let's Ordinary Rod this up to bring back our Inteleon and our energies. So Inteleon, I want you, and I want Dredraw. And energy, yes please. Okay, in terms of Mantine, I want to get Mantine down as an in case of... hey, Inteleon. Oh, don't Dreadnought. I want Inteleon because it's easier with energy. And Inteleon can come straight back in. I shouldn't need Inteleon, but hey, just in case. I don't want to Professor's Research in case I don't draw an energy, because I desperately, desperately need that energy next turn. So Kingler coming in next turn, I'm looking at dealing 150 damage, so long as this Garchomp stays in. I'll one KO anything he plays. So this should be the close of the first game. So my first impressions, my first feelings after playing this game, I'm quite happy with this deck. I don't feel like I played this matchup very well. I lost my Mantine way too early there. But as for how the deck performs, I'm quite happy with it. It does seem to hinge quite a bit on the Dreadnought to sweep. But it performs very, very well. It's got a lot of options. It does chew through your deck a little bit, but not as bad, I feel, as the other ones. It doesn't have as much draw and fetch as the other decks do, because this sort of deck is only Mantine and Searcher's Fort. Okay, let's bring in Kingler and let's close this game. Hey, another Krabby. Okay, so Kingler and Chlorend. Nice, for another 150 damage. So that's our first play and our first win. Hey, another Kingler. Another Krabby. I love Krabbies. I can't tell you why. I've just always loved them from first gen. So, that was our first game, first win. I'm feeling pretty good with this deck. The fact that it's not weak to either the Cinderace or the Rillaboom deck is quite useful. And the fact that it's good against the Charizard deck and the Cinderace deck, because they're weak to water, it makes me like this deck a lot more. I feel... Oh, I got both my challenges. That's quite nice. So I feel like because of that, this deck fits quite nicely into the meta. It's got a comfortable, like, niche spot. So it's got a lot of potential. And I think picking it up, you can have a lot of fun with it. So let's jump into our second game and see if we can replicate those results and pick up our second win. Okay, good. Heading up into the Charizard deck now. This is the deck I want to see how it goes. And see how this deck performs against it. Now again, I've got the first turn. I do want the first turn. Again, because I want to get my first evolutions out. This is not a great hand. I need to draw into a Kingler. Quite badly. Because the chance of Superstars going off... Oh well, I got 3 Krabbies. I don't even want to play the third Krabby. I don't see much reason of it. So let's go for a Great Ball. Hoping for a Kingler. Okay, got a Cramorant. Which I feel Cramorant will do me better than Sobble. I know Sobel's probably the smarter play because it builds into the Inteleon, but I get more use out of Cramorant. I feel like I'll get more use out of Cramorant. So let's drop that down. Now here comes the question. Do I want to charge up this Krabby? Or do I want to wait for the switch into Cramorant to start getting damage off? I think I'd rather start charging up Cramorant. And I say that because it can hit the bench. And because it actually deals 50 damage. Whereas, if I got a Kingler, then it would be worth it. If I don't get a Kingler, it's not worth it. The Krabby wasn't worth it. Actually, it can't go for an attack this turn. Yeah, I can go for an attack this turn. That's going to be unfortunate. No energy. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm very sorry. Okay, I want to apply pressure very, very early. Let's get the switch off. Let's swap. I actually want to go into Professor's Research now. I'm okay losing a Krabby. There's my Kingler. That would have been nice a turn earlier, but anyway. I don't know if I want to do Pokemon Catcher just yet. I might want to wait for a Charmander and bait out the Charmander. Okay, that's everything done there. Now, do I want a Water Arrow or do I want to put pressure onto here? The thing is, I want this Nidoran dead more than anything else. But I also want Farfetch dead. Let me put pressure on them because I know they don't have an energy. Otherwise, they just forgot to play an energy. But considering they don't have an energy down yet, I want to apply some pressure. Okay, there's the Charmander. Okay, there. I wish I put that damage there instead. I don't like when people do that. Okay, I don't believe in giving up early and yielding so early on. I understand not having energy and it's frustrating, but give your deck a chance. Okay, so let's jump into a proper second game. I don't even consider that a worthy game. Hopefully running in the Charizard deck again. Okay, we jump into the Charizard deck again. I'm very happy by that because again, this is the deck I want to test the Inteleon Theme Deck against. So let's see. I won the flip again. I want to go first because I want the first evolution. I know I'm missing out on card advantage, which would have been nice. Especially if you want to get Pokekid out earlier. But again, I'm going to be able to get Water Gun off pretty early because I've got enough energy for it. And worst case scenario, I can actually get damage down on the Charmander, which would be quite nice. Okay, let's go for it. So next turn, I definitely want to bring out a Tutor. I might actually bring out Tutor and start charging that up instead. And just let Cramorant just hit the bench as much as possible. Let's see. Let me get Great Ball. What do I get from Great Ball? I get nothing from Great Ball. So let's Pokekid this up. Let's bring out... let's bring out Dredraw. The other option is actually bringing out Kingler. Wait, no, I don't want Dreadnought. I want Tutor. The other option is bringing out Kingler. We'll do 80 damage with heavy pincers to most of the deck. No, I think let me play it safe. Let me bring out Tutor. Let me not be greedy. And I'm actually going to hit the bench with Water Arrow. I'm more scared of Charmander than I am of Farfetch'd. Because, I mean, it's going to take him 6 turns to get through this Cramorant with Toolbuster. So I'd rather be putting a lot of damage on this Charmander and just knock him down. Because also, that thing is, I want to get Dreadnought out ASAP. I don't want that Charizard sitting there for too long. I'd love Pokemon Catcher again right now because I know that Charizard's going to come in and just knock out this Cramorant. I do hope I draw another energy though. That's frustrating. That hurts my soul. I need to draw an energy next turn, otherwise my plan has gone to rubbish. Okay. I sincerely hope I get an energy next turn. Because this Charizard is going to come in and hit like a truck, which is a problem. That's a very early Charizard. The thing is, I can't even go into Dreadnought right now without knowing I have an energy in my hand. I have to go into Tutor. The thing is, I can't risk not going into an energy. This is not looking good. Because the problem is, I can't go into Dreadnought until I reliably have a way to get the damage off. Oh, this is a really bad start. Really bad start being energy drained and not having draws. I need Professor, I need Hop. I need an energy. I'm very scared he has another Charizard. Sorry, she has another Charizard, I apologize. Oh man. This is frustrating. That was a very early Charizard that's sweeping me at the moment. I still can't go into Dreadnought. I can't risk it. It's not what I want to see. This is a serious problem. I think I've lost this one. Sometimes you get good draws, sometimes you get bad draws. And unfortunately, this has been very, very bad draws. I feel like the plays I made with Water Arrow were the correct ones. I don't regret that play. Because I'm in a position now where if I'd drawn one energy, I would be good. I don't think those two attacks knocking out the Farfetch would have been helpful, because I would have been another energy down on Dreadnought. Come on, this is my last chance. Okay. Dreadnought is finally online. Problem is now... Yeah, I was worried about the Queen. I've lost this one. The problem is I wasn't able to get an advantage early enough against this deck. And against this Charizard deck, you need to get damage out early. And you need to shut them down. And unfortunately, I did not get that this game. So, some bad draws, some bad luck. It happens. Yeah. Okay, so overall, I'm happy with this deck. Disappointed in this game, but I'm happy with this deck. I feel like here I got some really bad draws in the sense that I didn't get my draw mechanics out and didn't get my answers out. It happens. Overall, though, this deck does perform pretty well what I've seen so far. Coming up in my other games against it, I think I've played it 3 times and I've won twice. Both with the Rillaboom deck. I don't think I beat this with my Cinderace deck. I think that was the loss I got against it. Yeah. That's an unfortunate game. Really, really bad draws. It happens. Well played. Nothing to do about that. But yeah, so I hope those of you watching this, you've enjoyed the first introductions to these 3 theme decks. I've had a lot of fun playing with them. They're sitting in an awkward spot in the meta. They feel very safe. They don't feel overpowered. They don't upfront feel better than the Kyogre, the Groudon, and this Charizard deck. But they feel like they've got a lot of potential. I'm interested to see how they do in about 2 weeks' time. Once people go back to playing their regular decks, they get in the feel of things, and the meta kind of stabilizes a little bit, because I feel like a lot of people at the moment are playing with the new theme decks, and once that stabilizes into what they actually feel like playing, I feel like that'll be a better position to judge it. So if you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a like, subscribing to my channel. I put out a lot of videos with regards to the different theme decks, hints, tips, tricks, and with all of the theme decks that come out in the future, I will definitely do a deck analysis and first impressions of them. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy these videos. I'm having a lot of fun playing through the theme decks, and I have no intention of stopping. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. Cheers. Enjoy.